Hello and welcome to Unsourced Wall. My name is Elvis, and as always, I am your host. Alright, so this is going to be a really short one because not only did I not read that much this week, but also didn't get any listener questions, which is a shame, but let's press forward. And I also made a promise to myself to never skip a week, so, hopefully this one turns out alright, but there's not much to go around. Like, in terms of news topic, there's only one thing that I thought was really interesting, which is that apparently Mark Millar's Nemesis movie is moving forward. Now, he's not with it personally. It's just one of the rights that are still floating around, even though most of the comic book rights got shifted to Netflix, and it's very different than what was expected. Now, Mark Millar isn't unique or isn't a stranger to having his works just completely reshifted or changed in adaptation, but Nemesis has got to be one of the most daring ones. At least with Wanted, at least it was still about a person who is being inducted into the secret society because their dad's dead or whatever. And Kick-Ass is still about a wannabe teen fanboy vigilante. Nemesis, the comic, is about, in so much words, what if Batman was a piece of shit and had all the prep time and everything like that. While Nemesis, the movie, from what we've seen more details from, is about a guy who sees the president commit a crime and then a vigilante helps him out to take him down. So that's pretty much the opposite of what the comic was about. And hey, it might be fun, but it says something when a movie that takes the Legion of Doom and makes them monks who worship a fortune-telling weave look like a better adaptation in comparison, then you're really doing something radical. Anyway, that's it for news in general. Like I said, not much happened this week. Now, let's move on to what I read this week. I did read a couple of things. The first of which was Shazam number 15, which is the finale to John's Shazam run. One of those issues that makes you wonder why the rest of the series wasn't about what this is about. It's one of those final issues that tries to make it sound like it was the capstone to a better, more interesting, more developed and complex story. Meanwhile, the story we got was just plotting, decentralized, messy, and full of filler. And, it's a shame because the story that the last issue tries to pretend it was is the story about how they all came together and how they all developed and grew and got more bonds, and how even Black Adam was a part of their group, and how they all learned to be a Shazamily, And that's not what the story we got was about. And it feels really rushed, it feels really forced, and it feels really unearned. And that's a shame because I still like and honestly really, really enjoy Curse Shazam. Meanwhile, the Shazam ongoing that we got is just not worth anything. It's all fluff. There's one or two great moments in there, but for 15 issues, 14 not counting the fill-in issue, it's definitely just really uninteresting and a waste of potential in every way possible. So overall, one thumb down, one thumb middle. Next up, we had Strange Adventures number 5. And I don't know what's worse, Tom King when he has something to say or Tom King when he has nothing to say. Because if this is the alternative to him not having a goal or a theme in mind, then we're in trouble because it's nothing. It's just talking heads. And it's not even him trying to convey some warped, ridiculous, and honestly hurtful sense about depression or mental trauma or self-care. It's just talking heads doing a really bad impersonation of a political intrigue story. It's like if someone who didn't know anything about thrills or suspense or action tried to write Homeland or 24. And that's just the sense I get. It's nothing. It's fluff. Maybe someone can get something out of the flashbacks because Doc Skinner's art is still really good, but it has so much disconnect to the main story in terms of tone or engagement or actual sort of threads, and that none of it has any impact. So overall, 2 thumbs middle because it's not even bad. It's just nothing. It's dull. It might as well not even exist after you read it. And lastly, we have Captain Ginger number 6. It's a finale to season 2. And I'm just going to review the entire arc because now that it's over, it was also a complete waste of time. It totally wastes the idea and the potential of having humanoid cats mating humanoid dogs. That's a great concept, especially after season 1 did such a great job at making you care about the cats as characters and seeing how, they are as humanoids and the little funny eccentricities of that. And with the dogs, they barely gain development, they barely gain any spotlight. You don't really know anything about them or their society or their dynamics or the characters of the dogs in general. And it just makes you wonder what was even the point of having dogs in the first place. I mean, where his season finale even ends up means that the dog world is probably not even going to have a factor anymore unless season 3 is really rushed and compressed to get us back to the dog world. And honestly, I really don't care anymore. It's something that, again, with season 1, there was a lot of great character beats and character moments that built up to each other, that felt like there was a great thread, something that really connected everything. And this issue is much like Shazam number 15, starts to fill in the gaps through really forced, really rushed, really over-examined narration. Like, it wasn't this grand story about the cats and dogs coming to conflict. It just they met and maybe had 1 or 2 arguments, and that was it. And now we're 6 years in, and nothing has happened that meant anything. And it's a shame because I expected more, and this series can do more. Like, I don't expect anything out of Tom King. Tom King can't write for shit. But you know what? Tom Payer actually had me really hooked and really invested, and he let me down. He really did. This was a huge disappointment. Overall, 2 thumbs down. And I guess that's it for this week. Again, sorry for the very short episode. I am actually busy on making my second Smallville retrospective video. I released my first one just a couple of days ago, so if you haven't checked that out, please do. I worked really hard on it, and might not be the best, but I'm actually pretty proud of it. And I only hope the second one's going to be even better. Anyway, thank you so much everyone out there who's ever sent a question, comment, or topic. It means so much to me, and I'm just really grateful for that. And hopefully we get some more next week. And I just want to give a shout out to the cover artists at DOTEMCE. Please send them out. They're really great, and they really deserve more traction. So have a great one out there. See you again next time.